Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead.
But when you take out the owner's salary, you have $400K. The owners were staying on, so it's
So the EBITDA is $550, and they're paying the owners $400.
No. Take out the owner's salary, you have $400 left. They were paying each other $75 each.
Okay, I got you.
Two owners.
Okay.
Purchase price.
Where is it located?
New York.
Okay.
Purchase price was $2.75. And the way we had structured it was, all right, 80% holding company, 20% rollover equity. So the owner's actually going to own 20% still.
Mm-hmm.
And how we can do our deals usually, we structure where we do rollover and seller's equity. So we use both together. And we structured it 10% for seller's finance over 4 years, 90% from the bank over 7 years.
Okay, well, it's a 90-10.
No, this is just the debt, the holding company. So we're borrowing 80% from the bank, and the sellers are going to roll over 20%.
Okay, you borrow.
It's in the
So just call it. Let's just say, okay, the 20% rollover is equal to $550,000, right? 20% of $2.75 million is $550,000.
Just about, yes.
Okay, let's call it 500 for government work. So you're borrowing $2 million.
Just about 1.9.
Okay, $2 million. You're borrowing $2 million from the bank. It's whatever rate. Doesn't matter what rate. Okay, and you're the seller's note, if you will. Why do you think it's different? Because 80% of it's in the holding company and 20% is held by the holding company owns 100% of the deal.
Not this deal. The actual owners own that 20%.
Okay, so you're only buying 80%.
Correct.
I got you. Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
So that's how we structure most of ours. And then the bank was doing the...
Now, you've done 40, 50 of these now? Most of yours? How many have you done, James?
We've structured...
No. How many have you completed, James?
None.
Okay.
That didn't work
So
out.
let's not talk like you're KKR.
That didn't work out.
Okay, go ahead. So why didn't that deal work out?
As shown here.
Oh, okay. Next page. Okay, go ahead.
As shown here, basically what happened is the terms got lost in negotiation. Yes. We were controlling the terms, and once we lost...
Wait, you mean you and your consortium of meatheads?
Yes.
Your group, okay.
And once we got lost in the terms, basically we had no more control over the seller and the bank.
So why? How can you lose control of the terms?
Because the sellers weren't motivated, and that's what we realized.
Okay.
Cybersecurity, the owners were both 58.
Okay. Remember, we always look for a reason why we fucked up. We always do. I do, you do, right? Your kid looks for a reason why he didn't get straight A's. Now they don't even give grades anyway. Your son, if he plays sports, why he dropped the fucking ball and the other team won. All through our life, we got a reason, right? Okay. You never had control of the terms. Because if you had control, well, okay, continue. I want to hear the rest now. Go ahead.
So, as mentioned, we're buying 80%, they're holding 20%, Nuco. Over 7 years, when you add in the interest rate, it's $300K per year, just about. And again,
that's the interest rate on the
yes,
on the 80%. Yes. No, on the 90%.
Yes.
Well, why is it 90% if you're only buying 80?
This is the debt from the bank. So debt finance, seller finance,
which is different from the 80-20.
Correct.
So this represents the 80. The 90 and 10 represent the 80.
Correct.
I got you. Go ahead.
Correct. So the seller's holding $220,000 back, and when you do that,
you say it's holding back because of the earnout.
Seller finance.
I got you. Okay.
And that's $55,000 a year.
Yep.
But again, when you add it to the bank, and this is $355 a year, and we have 400,000 as cash flow right now.
Mm-hmm.
So our DCR is only 1.13. So when it came down to the end, basically the deal didn't stack up. And
it took you this long to figure that out? I'm not making fun of you, James, but this is what I said. I would have figured that out in 5 seconds. Now, why are you looking at me like a puppy just died? This is not a sophisticated deal. This is brain dead 101. I would have never entered into this deal because I would have been able to say one point. If it's less than 2, I'm not interested. Now, the guys, I can't wait to hear the Hermans down here, the Germans and the Ian, or the Belgian guy. First of all, the presentation's in German. What did I tell you when you came here? If it was in a different language, change it, right? It's in fucking Herman. And it's a piece of shit on top of it. This is why you don't do deals. From the shake of fucking what I'm trying to get money from to 1.13 that you figured that out about 0.3 of a hundredth of a million of a second till they come in German. How serious? If you were me and you were paying me to teach you a foreign language, which this is a foreign language, many of you, and you continue to come in German, 1.1, I mean, what do you think I think? I'm pretty vocal what I think. These guys aren't serious. Because you're not. And he smirks and laughs, and that's a coping mechanism because he's nervous. Guys, so far, the only 2 guys that get it in the group so far are the Mexican guy. He got it. He didn't even have to come here. I told him he's wasted his money coming here. You know, he learned more than enough the first time. And the Australian guy, who's already wealthy, and he's already done deals. QLA. He said, "Fuck, it was easy." I know it's easy, but he's used to pulling the trigger because he's got 42 years experience of pulling the trigger. And when you got 40, even if you're an idiot, you got to learn something in 42 years. Guys, I'm telling you, you're making this so much more difficult than it needs to be. This is easy. Or as our lovely daughter would say, easy peasy. This is, I mean, God almighty. And what's even more frightening to me is because some of you have boards, and your board shows you shit on that deal. Now, your presentation skills are 10 times better than they used to be. They're 10 times better, and they are. That's a plus. Now, I know that has nothing to do with you going to Penn. Although when I tell the story, I'm going to say it's because of Penn.
I did improv, though, like you told me.
Oh, God, okay. I didn't know. Well, one person did, okay. But improv, but your presentations are much better now. And ultimately, it's going to click. If you don't give up. And I know you're not going to give up. Okay? They came and asked me, do I want to put rat poison in your lunch? I said, no, we might put rat poison in his fucking graduation dinner, but not in his lunch. Okay, continue.
So, in summary, speaking to my colleagues...
Your colleagues now. Go ahead.
Basically, the deal doesn't stack up, and we wasted our time, and thank God for delayed fees, because this is a Q of E that I shared with them and share with everybody else there that they'll see. And this was about $50,000 from our accountants.
Who are your accountants?
This was with a small accounting firm in Texas.
Okay, now you shit-can them because, right? Mm-hmm. And why did you shit-can them?
Well, because they almost let us do this. So the fact that they didn't help prevent it.
No. From an accounting point of view, 1.13 is a deal. Not from a QLA bot point of view, it's not a deal. Because I like 2 or above times debt service. And after you fuck around and niggle fuck around, shit with it, it got me knocked down to 1.7, 1.8. But there you have no wiggle room whatsoever. And then, of course, when you're doing stuff like Josh was doing, when you got 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, I mean, you can really fuck up management. I'm not suggesting you do that, but you have a lot of wiggle room. Okay, then what?
So we passed.
Who were the lawyers in this deal?
It was a small law firm out of New York. No, actually, we were using DLA Piper.
And you shit canned them, or they shit canned you?
We shit canned them.
And why did you shit can DLA Piper, one of the biggest law firms in the world?
Because the partner basically was saying that it didn't work, our relationship didn't work, and they wanted to renegotiate and only do like one more deal.
Well, I mean, that one more deal might have been the deal that sent you to heaven. Okay, go ahead. What's next?
And that's it for this one, basically.
Okay.
We ended up passing on it because, again, the sellers weren't motivated. And
well, you should have known that up front.
Correct. They were 58 each.
I've had motivated sellers 28. Okay. You know, and I've said this before, where they used to tease me, motivated sellers to Peña are no matter what age man, spitting their blood from emphysema, wheeling his wife in a wheelchair who just had a stroke. They're motivated. Doesn't matter age. I used to go around to funeral parlors to look for motivated sellers. I used to take the license plates down of the big cars. I told you this is the first seminar. I bet you not one of you has been to a fucking funeral parlor to take license plates down. Because that's beneath you. You'd rather stay poor. That's the only way I can look at it. Or it's like the Belgian guy. That was inhumane. I told his mother, I asked, is she still alive? That old crow is the death of him. She should be dead. Is that harsh enough? Doesn't make it any less true, does it? Okay, so each one of you got a story to tell, right? I can't wait. And it sounds like I'm gleeful because I'm enjoying myself. I am. This is the only enjoyment I get. But guys, I mean, everybody here, almost everybody, is making this way too difficult. I just told the guy, the Finnish guy downstairs, I thought he had a tear in his eye. I don't know how long he fucking chased that deal. But in one millionth of a microsecond, I said no. As soon as he said 30 years in business and 2 million euros in revenue, no. Maybe that took more than that, maybe 2 seconds. And I'm not interested in why. I don't care. And he's in the right place at the right time. He's in green. Countries are all greeny, and something's not right. It's not for me to figure out what's not right next. But he looked, I hope you caught that tear on the camera. And you've all got this and that, but countries, if you can't make money and you're in green, any kind of form of green, and you've been there 30 years, which is essentially when green started, and you're only doing 2 million million euro a year, something's not right. And the fact that the board didn't see it. I should have checked if there were any pen boys on that board. See how simple it is? Any questions before I leave you to your own devices? Lunch is at 1. I'll be there a little before 2 to do an introductory for the Graham and Leanne and Carling. I just double check the numbers that I'm not using the wrong numbers on their. I said this morning I was wrong. It was 106 million. It was 120 million. So I cheated about a 14 million. But you go through enough of these, and by the end of the week, and you've all gone through some self-deprecation and self-embarrassment, you'll see the next time around when you get back to wherever you're going, fuck, you won't even open up the not the Dropbox, but you open up whatever the attachment is with all the numbers, you know, because normally they send you an email. Been in business since 1971, 3.1 million. Next. I don't care what you're doing. That dog doesn't hunt. I mean, to say, you know, some of you are worried about inflation. Wrongfully, but anyway. To say that from 1971 to now, which is 50 years, 3.1 million did not keep up with inflation. Assuming that they started with business with some money. And almost everybody but you will start with some money. By the time next year rolls around, I'm going to expand the story, exaggerate the story. They started with 5 million, and now they're doing 3.1 million after 50 years. Now, see, that you can understand is shit, right? 55, that means they've lost money. You don't even think about inflation with those numbers, do you? Well, you got to start looking at the numbers just being alive. I mean, just keeping up with inflation, your money doubles every 8-10 years. If you're just keeping up with inflation. Okay, kids. If there's no other questions, I will see you later. And I'm glad to hear that you went to improv. It shows.